Welcome to episode 19 of the Irish Fitness Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by the coronavirus, the world's premier virus, started in late 2019 as has been going around the world ever since. So, Shane, the coronavirus. What's going on, buddy?
I don't know, really. It's like shutting down the whole country.
It is shutting down the whole country. It might be shutting down CrossFit Waterford soon.
I hope not, but
yeah, fingers crossed.
End of my semester at college, pretty much.
Yeah.
So colleges and schools are all shut down until the 29th of March.
Madness.
We're in the middle of March now. It's not even Paddy's Day yet. Paddy's Day is cancelled.
Paddy's Day is over. There is no Paddy's Day.
Every CrossFit sanction is cancelled.
Yeah. I think it's about 7. I saw the German throwdown just postponed today, so that's 8, I think, that have been either postponed or cancelled.
You have to think the next 6 months not looking great now for competitions.
It's worrying, man. I'm starting to get worried now. One of the highlights of my year is the IFC. I love it. I love the build up to it. I love the weekend and stuff like that. And I don't know. I think that may be in jeopardy now as well. We'll see. We'll see how things go. The CrossFit Games are saying they're going ahead and they're going to monitor things and all that, but it's not looking good, we'll say. The premier virus is certainly doing its job, isn't it?
It is. It's closing down everything. It's closing down all the shops and everything now. So I think all we have open really is supermarkets, especially Ireland. We don't particularly deal with things great.
People still need to go on with their lives, though, don't they?
For sure. It's just we never have anything in place to really like combat stuff. So like when we got the snow, which was actually this time like 2 years ago as well.
Yeah.
Around this time of year, we just didn't really deal with it well, and everything is kind of like everyone's buying bread and not. Now everyone's buying toilet roll for some reasons.
Yeah, what's the toilet roll thing about? Because Corona makes you shit more or something like that.
It's just when people have to get locked in their house, the first thing they think of is the
bog roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, take a leaf out of the Arabs book and use our hand or something, isn't it? Or a B-day. You know them things. Yeah, it's going to be interesting times ahead, folks. I was talking to my friend Amo up in Rowan CrossFit this morning, and he just made the decision to shut it down.
Really?
Yeah, he just said, fuck it.
I saw him doing some online stuff,
actually.
That
yet,
or laptop set up, he was doing some online stuff.
That's what he's going to do. He's going to coach classes from at home or in the gym. He's going to set the laptop on the gym. They're going to use like Zoom, I think it's called, so they can all see what he's doing, and then they just basically follow his instructions. So we all might end up doing that.
That's what we're doing with college now. Lecturers are putting their lectures all on Zoom and YouTube and stuff like that, so we can all go on, get our work done and all that with the modules. But yeah, it's weird times.
Strange times ahead, and it'd be weird as well for athletes coming into competition season, because where do you train then? Are you allowed into the gym or whatever?
What do you do? Yeah.
We're going to just train in here anyway, but we'll have to officially shut down. But I'm not. There's no one telling me not to come into my own gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we'll probably have hours, but we just won't be doing classes, and stuff like that. I'm sure the rest of the gyms will be the same.
Yeah, there'll be something going on where you can work out members, be it like home workouts or maybe small groups at a time. Everyone keeping their distance with each other, because I think that's the main thing they're going to put out warnings of if you see any guidelines, because it's easy to watch the news, social media, which want you to worry, because then that makes you click on stuff on Facebook and Instagram. Whereas if you get proper advice from, like, you see like world leading scientists, I give that advice, people with like actual masters
people
degrees,
that know what they're
PhDs who have in the medical field who are giving advice, they're the people to listen to. They'll give you simple things to follow and you'll be fine. It's when you start reading into stuff that the tabloids are putting out when people get anxiety, I feel.
Yeah,
so
I think so. I think
stick to what's true. Find a good source, and there's loads of stuff like on Instagram as well. That's good sources.
Listen to the experts.
Like just simple advice that you can follow. So when it comes to like exercise, I think keeping our distance. We had a class outside this morning.
That went well.
Everybody was a metre away from each other. It was all outdoors. They weren't in a damn gym. They had like a choice to touch the equipment if you wanted to, and I think that's a good way to go about it.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a way forward, is to do outdoor workouts.
Yeah.
If people want to train, they can. If they don't, then they can do their own thing in their own home.
And we don't know how long it's going to last. There's like this thing about the government now that like a 2-week kind of like shutdown, if you want to, like kind of lockdown, but they don't even know themselves.
They have no idea. They only set that date because it was 2 weeks.
Yeah, just something to go on.
We'll do 2 weeks and then we'll review it and stuff like that. We're going to have Chris Cooper on for episode 20. If any follow Two Brain Business, he's an expert in the field. He just did a webinar on gym owners preparing for what's ahead and if they shut down and stuff like that. So definitely check that out. He's going to be on tomorrow. But on today's episode 19, we have one of Ireland's long-time top dogs, Mr. Jamie Headon. I first came across him back in 2014, I believe, in the Irish Throwdown. He was an excellent athlete then, and he only progressed through the years. We had a good chat with him, Shane, didn't we? He was a
brilliant,
really interesting guy, and he was really nice.
He was very, very well-read fella. Loves getting out information and stuff like that, and just as I don't know, sometimes as like really high-level athletes can be kind of tough to talk to, in most respect possible. But like they can be hard to talk to because they're so focused on one thing. Jamie's a business owner, and he's not a high-level athlete.
Super nice,
very good coach as well. So very, very easy to talk to. Wants to talk to you.
Yes.
So that's the main thing. You kind of get a good vibe off Jamie. And we're going to try and have him back on then.
Yeah, he's going to come back on when he's at the games.
At the CrossFit Games, yeah.
Good stuff. So, up after the break, we have Jamie Headon. So, welcome to episode 20 of the Irish Fitness Podcast. Today's guest, we have Mr. Jamie Headon. Jamie is a long-time standing top athlete here in Ireland. And he has been at the top of the game basically since around about 2014. And has been thrown down ever since. How's it going, Jamie? How are you, buddy?
Yeah, great, lads. Great to be on the show.
Good, yeah. Really appreciate you coming on. Thanks very much. I know you're very busy. How's things up in Dublin now with the coronavirus and all that kind of business? How are you handling it?
Yeah, man. It's crazy, I suppose. I think no one really knows what's going on.
Yeah.
We still have the Sandyford gym open. But we've done a few measures, like we've pulled all our classes back to 12 people in a class just to give more space awareness. We're providing home workouts. We're going to be going out on trail runs starting tomorrow. So the Sandyford gym is open, but we had to shut down our Trinity location just because it's such a big facility and it's out of our hands.
Yeah, it's scary times, isn't it? Scary times.
Yeah, it's just madness.
We're the same. Like I can't ever remember in my life having any kind of a situation like this, like not just got to do with the gym or whatever, but just the whole panic situation. And there is a lot of fear going around and stuff like that, and especially for like us business owners and things like that. Are you? What are you thinking? Do you think we'll be forced to shut down now eventually all our smaller gyms?
See, it's hard to know. Like, just as much as you want to keep the gym open, you want to be seen to be doing the right thing. You don't want to be trying to be the only gym open and trying to push to get all the people in the door. Like, there's no point to that. You really have to think of everyone's health and safety, and even if it's not going to affect younger people, you don't want your gym to be spreading it in any way. So I have no idea what's going to happen. I suppose over this weekend we're going to find out more, but obviously I want the business to do well, but I'm really going to be more focused on what's the best decision overall for health and safety. I think your job to do anyway.
I agree. I think we'll know a lot at the start of next week, like with things with the government and what kind of sanctions they're going to put in place or whatever. It's really worrying, like just to think of the whole country literally shutting down. If we look at like Italy and stuff like that, you know what I mean? What's happening over there? I think they have insisted on all non-essentials kind of shops and stuff, haven't they?
Yeah, I think Italy didn't really listen in on didn't know what should be done to kind of combat, like cleaning down or whatever stuff like we're doing now, and then it kind of got too late for them, and now they're kind of all over the place over there.
Mad. There's more cases popping up every day and stuff, isn't there?
It's all over Ireland.
Were you talking?
Well, Italy's in complete lockdown at the moment, basically.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Were you talking to any the other gym owners up in Dublin? What are their thoughts on it, or are they going to be shutting down? I
haven't really been talking to the other CrossFit gyms. We were more trying to deal with our Trinity location because that's the one we've been really trying to grow recently, and so we had to shut that down this week. So I've more been dealing with that and kind of put in contingency plans of how we're going to try to keep our members active, keep the community together. When the gym shuts, because it's a new gym in Trinity, we don't have like a really strong community yet because everyone's just getting into CrossFit, getting to know each other. So we want to really interact with them and try to keep them on board, basically. So that's kind of been my challenge for this week. So Sandyford is quite strong because everyone knows each other. We're going to be going running tomorrow, and loads of people did my home workout that I put up yesterday. So I'm happy with Sandyford, but we'll see what happens at the other one.
Yeah, fingers crossed, man. Hopefully things come out the other end and we're all okay. As I said at the start, Jamie, you're a long-standing CrossFit athlete here in Ireland. Do you want to give us a little background on how you started into it?
Yeah, so how I started CrossFit, I suppose, well, I've always been into kind of fitness training, strength training, that type of thing. Ever since I watched Rocky when I was a kid, I've been mad into my strength conditioning since I was like 13. Yeah, so...
is there boxing in your family? Is your brothers do boxing, don't they? They train, they coach boxing.
Yeah, so exactly. I have 3 brothers, 2 of them are twins, Sean and Paddy. They're both 25.
Shout out to Sean and Paddy.
Medals.
Right, very good, very good.
So they run Headon Boxing Academy and they have 3 gyms themselves. One of them we share. We share the Sandyford location and then they have 2 other gyms outside of that.
Excellent. And did you box yourself, Jamie?
I was there punching bag for about a year.
Nice.
In between rugby and CrossFit, there was about a year where I was kind of in between sports and they were training seriously for the Irish Nationals and they were fighting, I think, 2 kilos above each other, so they'd never have to come against each other in the final. So I trained with them. I had 1 fight, but no, I was there punching bag for a year.
Nice. And you played rugby for a while, and then how did you discover CrossFit in the first place?
Yeah, so I studied sport and exercise management basically in UCD, and in second year college we had an internship. So I was real into my rugby at that stage, and I went over to Harlequins Rugby Club in Twickenham. And at that time, one of my friends did an internship in Perpetua, which was in Blackrock at the time. So they had 2 gyms, the Blackrock facility and the town facility. So I came back from England and I was still all rugby focused, and this guy let me know that there was basically a sport and fitness, and he said, you'd love it. So I went down to the gym, started doing a few sessions, and kind of the competitive element of the fitness classes I loved. When you see someone in the class, they're better than you one week, and next week you want to try climb the leaderboard.
Yes.
So I started going to the competitor classes in Perpetua in Blackrock, and that was really the start of my journey basically. And then throughout the rest of my college, the lads in Perpetua were really good to me, took me under their wing, allowed me coach classes, and I used to kind of do my college essays just on the gym floor, just learning from the coaches, trying to practice my own stuff, teaching myself butterfly pull-ups and that type of thing. So once I got a feel for it, I really just immersed myself into the gym and started to set targets and went for it from there.
Brilliant. That's a little bit of history there. And when was your first competition? I remember I met you first in 2014 at the Irish Throwdown. Remember that in that big dark hole? You could barely see it, and Colin Rolls was running. It was a great competition. We were only talking.
That was good.
It was a good old buzz. Was that your first competition?
I think I did one just before that. So in our competitor group in Perpetua, it was a solid crew. There was Kev Claxon was there, and
Flanagan as well. Jesus, that was a real hotbed back then, wasn't it?
100%. And Owen McGregor likes to remind me constantly that he taught me how to snatch. That's his big thing.
So you would have to tell him that he still needs to learn how to snatch.
I know.
Shout out to Owen.
So I did a competition with the lads in the RDS. I remember Rob placed first, Owen placed second, I placed third, and then after that I did the Irish Throwdown where I met you guys.
Yeah, that was brilliant, man. That was a great weekend.
Competition, but that was madness. They were good old school days.
It was. It was a mad old competition. Like Colin is mad as a bag of cats and all that, but he was kind of really putting on some really challenging workouts and stuff. Some of them were a bit crazy, but I really enjoyed that competition. I was only telling Shane just before we started filming there that it was the first time I had seen handstand walks in a competition outside the games. Remember in the final? And it was only like 10 feet. Yeah. It was 10 feet or something, wasn't it? And everyone was struggling, and
crazy.
It was a real challenge, like, because no one was practicing handstand walks really back then, were they? Like, there was a few people.
I remember Owen McGregor came out and doing some butterfly pull-ups, and we were like, "What are they?" Like, I haven't seen them before.
Everyone was kipping. That's right. It was mad. It was mad to think back then, like the difference between then and now.
Yeah.
Like everyone knows how to do everything at the kind of higher level or whatever. But you would have still seen on the national level people kipping pull-ups and things like that, and they wouldn't have had great strength numbers, and there was still a lot of the Wild West going on, wasn't there?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
And
No,
Jamie,
definitely.
when did you do your first Open? I know you won it you started winning in 2000 and, was it 2014 when they started doing the national champs?
Okay, yeah. So if I won in 2014, I did it 2 years before then. So
Okay.
when I just started CrossFit in 2012, I'd just been in the gym, just kind of coaching, doing that competitors class. And I remember I placed seventh in Ireland basically in my first Open. And after that, I was like, oh, cool. I didn't even know there was a leaderboard. We were just doing the workouts every week, and I was dropping in, doing it once type of thing. So when I saw I came seventh, I was like, this is something I'm going to give a good shot. So the next year, I was still kind of living like a college lifestyle, still going out with all my friends, but taking training quite seriously as well. And my goal was to come first in Ireland. I think the second year I might have come second or third, maybe. And then I was like, I have a real shot at this. So after the first 2 years of CrossFit, when I was training hard, but I hadn't sacrificed anything, I decided, okay, I want to set some goals. I really want to come first in Ireland. That was my big goal. And that's when I started to take it really seriously. So that's when I opened up Chapter 2 Fitness, but it wasn't really at the time to be a business. It was more like to be my own training cage. So I was like, I need somewhere where I can train all day. And I looked at it and kind of said, might have to make some sacrifices here. Stopped really going out drinking as much and was just purely focused on my training. And yeah, so my first big one was the 2014 one where I came first in Ireland. That was like when I hit my first target, I suppose.
Brilliant. You've been pretty much at the top ever since. Shane?
Yeah, so Jamie, just getting into, that's kind of your intro, so getting into like the CrossFit Games type stuff now. So you've been at regionals, you've been at sanctionals. What do you think the difference is between the two? What do you prefer? Do you like the format we have now? What do you think about that whole thing?
Yeah, well, my thing as well is like, I love competition. The Open is a great test, and it's a really stressful test, obviously, because you might think you have a huge performance on the Friday, and then suddenly you hear someone score. They might have got 2 seconds faster than you, or you hear someone else is repeating it. So I find that like a really stressful time when it's like constantly trying to dig deep. But I much prefer competition when you're out on the competition floor. You've got one chance. You can see the competition around you. You know when to push, when to pull back. So for me, I really think I shine in a competition when there's a crowd there. And to answer your question about the sanctionals, like, I didn't like the sanctionals the way they were doing it at the start. I just didn't like the idea of it because it was a change, and because I think regionals is like such a big point for people to get to. I think it's always like any CrossFitter's like big goal or a big target. It's something that they reach for. So I was a bit upset when regionals went away. But I think now the sanctionals are huge. There's a lot of exposure, and it also gives a lot more sponsorship opportunities, so athletes can do a lot better for themselves financially or just on their Instagram profiles, etc. So yeah, I think sanctions are pretty cool now.
Yeah, I suppose give the sport a chance to grow, and especially for Irish athletes, I think there's way more opportunity. So you were able to get on a team, like you've been knocking on the door for a good while for the CrossFit Games, we all know that, and you finally got on a team. How did all that come about, and getting to do those sanctions on a team and eventually earn your ticket then as well?
Yeah, so the team kind of completely came out of the blue. Basically, before I went to regionals, I'd been working with a coach, Andy Unton, and he was doing all of my programming for me.
Friend of the show.
After regionals, I got injured, did my shoulder injury, and I was out of action for about 2 years. And now I'm back competing. And I was, as you lad said, I was quite close in Italy to getting my games ticket as an individual last year. And I kind of just sat down and assessed it. And I've been doing all of my programming and my training myself, basically. So I said, I need a coach. So when I went to the French showdown, I saw this lad, John Singleton, who I've got to train with a couple of times. I did an elite camp with him in Iceland with the likes of like Dr. Goodmanson and Sarah Siggin's daughter. So I had worked with him before, but he was mainly working with all these serious athletes. And when I was at the French Throwdown, I saw that he was there, and he had like 4 to 6 athletes competing, and his girlfriend actually won it. Jacqueline actually won the French Throwdown. So I really want a coach that's going to like be there, go to my competitions, not just someone who's going to program and I never get to see. You know? So I started working with John last year basically, and he started doing all of my programming. And we hadn't mentioned team, nothing I've mentioned about a team at all. And then during this year's Open, like 2 weeks into the Open, I got a call, and he said, we're making an elite team. It's the first time the program have ever put together a team. it's going to be essentially like a super team because he was going to be picking athletes from all over the place, and would I be interested? So I went along with it. It was a difficult decision for me because on one side I thought it was really cool, it was a new adventure, but on the other side I didn't want to be copying out of the individual, you know. So I had to think about it for a few days, talk to a few friends, my girlfriend, etc. And then I decided I'd give it a lash for a year. I'd try a couple of competitions. The Filthy 150 was right around the corner. So I said I'd see how the Filthy 150 went and go from there. So I met the guys 2 days before the Filthy 150. Could barely remember their names on the competition floor. Like, we didn't know each other at all. Jeez. But the fact that we played second, then I was like, okay, this is where it's at. So I decided to give it a good go from there.
Yeah, and that was so entertaining, I think, for an Irish crowd to watch you on a team. It was very different, I think, for everyone to watch, and then us actually getting a sanction here.
No one knew I was going team. I hadn't put it on my profile. I hadn't told anyone. I remember Eamon Kenny was doing team, and I walked up to the Filthy, and he came up to me, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" And then I had like the whole team behind me, and he's like, "Who are those guys?" Type of thing. So yeah, it was great. It was really cool to do my first competition in Ireland as a team as well. It just made the whole experience so much better. So Filthy 150 was such a huge event.
Brilliant, man. It's a massive achievement. And again, we get to see 4E going now, and 4 fan favourites as well, like Emma obviously, and then Petey being the Irish national champs. Then Army, the champ of Kazakhstan or wherever he is. And then we shout out the Army, and then yourself then on the team as well. So we get to see 4 of you, which is brilliant. I love the way the Filthy 150 as well are trying to help you out and do that, the bike raffle as well. Will you be training with the lads now over the next few months or whatever? Will you get to see them? I know there's going to be restrictions on travel and stuff like that, obviously. Or do you just plan to rock up to Madison the week of the thing and then just get together then? What's the actual plan for that?
Yeah, so that's a tough one. Like, we really want to train together. When we did the Filthy 150 as our first competition, we were good at any event that had anything like individualized or like a relay type of event. We were winning, we were coming first, and anything that had any element of team, we were terrible at. Okay. I remember I'd never touched the worm. We were practicing the worm in my gym with boxing bags. So when I had to pick that worm up for the first time, I was like, whoa. So then we got to do a camp before Norway. We did a 6-day like intensive training camp in Norway together. In Mallorca together before we went to Norway. And that made all the difference for Norway. We really came together as a team, and just the communication, who was going to be the leader, all of that really helped us. So the plan was, before the whole coronavirus, was that we were going to be doing a camp in May for about 10 days. Then we'd be going to Madrid to be doing that big team competition that I know Mayhem are doing. Then we were going to go to Norway to train as a team. Then we were going to go back to Mallorca, and then we were going to go to the States. So the plan was for me to be away for pretty much 2 to 3 months straight with the team. Right. So now, because now we've got the games ticket, we really want to make the most of it. You know, we don't want to just rock up and just see what happens. We want to train almost like an elite squad under our coach and do everything we can.
You're in it to win it, basically.
But now that the coronavirus is there, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, what a fucking mess, man. It's terrifying again that you have these plans. Even for me, on a smaller scale, running the IFC and another competition I have going on, that's all in jeopardy now as well because of this. Okay, it's X amount of months away. Are people really going to buy tickets to go to it then as well? And, are they going to invest in it? Are people going to be training as hard? Can they train at all if all the gyms are shut down? You know what I mean? Why would you want to do a competition if you're not able to train, if you have to be at home doing air squats or something like that? You know what I mean? It's absolutely...
That's the problem. Athletes might feel confident in their fitness, they might feel like they're at the top of the game. Yeah. And then I feel you may get athletes, but it could be very hard to get spectators, because... they want to leave their house basically until this is all cleared. Yeah. We only had 4 sanctionals cancelled over the weekend there or postponed. So
I think it's 7 in total now. I think 7 have been. Yeah, 7 in total, isn't it, Shane?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like every day there's a new one just
there's
being
a new
cancelled.
one being cancelled.
Italian Showdown went completely online, which I thought was a bit crazy, but
they got rid of that though.
Did they?
I don't think they should. You shouldn't be allowed to have a sanction online.
That's just the open.
It's not going to be online.
I agree with that. Yeah, they tried to do that, and that's why HQ agreed to first But then if HQ obviously rethought things, that like
we have the Open, so like
you shouldn't really be allowed. Like the Open is the Open, and that's fair enough.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But sanctioning online, I don't think is they shouldn't be setting a precedent for that, because other places might try and do the same thing as well.
Yeah.
I think the only way you should be able to qualify online to the games is through the Open.
Through the Open. That's why it's
you know
there.
what I mean. If
We
you're
don't
doing
need
other
anything
ones.
else.
And Jamie, so you're obviously training very hard and stuff like that at the moment. What would a typical training day for Jamie Headon look like? You're doing doubles, I'm sure, and stuff like that. Could you give us a little rundown on what you do day to day?
Yeah, so I'm doing double sessions. As I said, I'm following the program, but I've also trained on my own for quite a while. So I like to use the program as a base and then do a lot of my own stuff as well. So usually in the morning I'll do my first session, and it would be about 60 minutes of some form of aerobic work, engine building style stuff. And then I'll do about 30 to 40 minutes of accessory work. So that's where I do all my kind of my GHD work, my sandbag carries, like my accessory strongman work. So usually I like to do a big aerobic session of accessory in the morning. And then later on in the afternoon, session 2 will be about a 2-hour session where I'll start with some strength work or some Olympic lifting, depending on what I'm doing that day. And then 2 to 3 CrossFit style workouts, you know. So I like to do a 90-minute session at the start of the day, a 2-hour session in the middle, and then depending on my coaching schedule and how I feel that day and how my training volume has been, I try to do maybe an hour of just skill work later on. So that could just be EMOMs with butterfly pull-ups or chest to bar pull-ups or muscle-ups. Very much low intensity, just looking at my technique video and some of the reps, trying to see how I can tighten them up. So my third session is more just trying to practice my skills, practice my efficiency. So then when I'm doing it under fatigue, it's tight and it doesn't kind of get messy. So it's more building volume.
And is that on a daily basis, Jamie? Would you do that like 5 days a week, or you know, how many days a week would you do that kind of volume?
I would do that. So I used to follow a structure where I'd always take Thursdays and Sundays off. Now I try to swim on Thursdays and do a trail run up Tick Rock on Sundays. Depending on how I feel, I'll take a day off. Like I used to kind of just follow whatever a coach said, put 100% trust in them, even if I felt run down. But I think through experience and just through injuries or just through training volume in general, you kind of learn to listen to your body. So I do have an overall plan, but I take each week by week and day by day. And if I'm not feeling it, or the night before, if I feel like I don't want to train the next day, that would be unusual for me. So I know there's probably something going on there and I need to take a day off. So I don't really have set days to train. If I need a day off, I take a day off. If I feel fresh, I'm going to keep going throughout that week, you know. But I try to do double sessions every day.
I think that's sound advice for anyone, not even a top level athlete, but listen to your body on a daily basis, isn't it? You know, you'll often see people coming into the gym.
Everyone's following programs, which is dead right to do, but everyone has their own history of different sports, different niggles, different injuries. So I think you have to kind of take a step back and look at your body, listen to your body. Otherwise, you get caught up with a shoulder injury, a knee injury. You just get stuck in that circle, you know. You're
just doing it for the sake of doing it, then, isn't it? Rather than actually paying attention to like you said, you'll wake up that morning. How do I feel today? Do I feel like doing a little bit extra, or do I feel like doing a little bit less? I think that's sound advice, folks, for anyone. And in terms of recovery, Jamie, is there anything specific you would do? Do you mess around with like saunas or cryo or anything like that? What would a recovery session look like for you? Or are you just doing it? Do a Sam Stewart on it?
I actually do a lot of that stuff. As I said, I like
Same as
to get into the pool at least once a week.
Sam is the same. Sorry.
To do a bit of swimming.
Did you listen to Sam's one? He was the same. He's like, doesn't really mess around with recovery much or anything like that either. It seems to be a common theme around the top boys, don't they?
Yeah, those dubs.
Yeah. Go on, sorry, Jamie. Go ahead.
No, so I try to get into the pool once a week. I find that definitely helps. I get physio once a week, 100%. I have to do that. More just like neuromuscular therapy, like a deep sports tissue massage. I use my Compex a little bit around competitions, but the key thing is sleeping. Like if I start losing sleep, I know I'm out of action, and I know I'm just going to get run down. So try to get my 9 hours sleep in, and I'm lucky to be with clean cut meals at the minute now as well. So that's taken the pressure of cooking off. So sleeping and eating are like kind of my key recovery things.
Brilliant.
And then just looking after myself. But no, none of that jumping in the sea or getting in the sun. I don't need that stress.
You don't be doing a Mark Toner on it and sitting in an ice bath for 5 hours a day or anything like that.
No, I don't like the sound of ice baths.
Yeah,
no,
man.
I hurt enough in training. I don't need to hurt in the sea.
Yeah, agreed. And do you monitor your sleep, Jamie, or do you just like, okay, I'm going to bed now and then I wake up? Do you like, have you ever heard of the Whoop strap or anything like that?
Yeah, so I've seen the Whoop strap. I've looked into it a bit. I don't monitor it personally because I feel if it's telling me I'm not like 100% recovered, or I've seen people where they have like 42% recovered today, but they could feel fresh and they might want to do a big session. So I know that would throw me completely if it was telling me every other day that I wasn't feeling good. So I don't monitor in that sense, but I do make sure I have like X amount of hours of sleep and I try to stick to that. But no, I don't use any apps or anything like that.
Yeah, I get you. I wear the Whoop strap, and sometimes it does tell me, like you said, you get a low recovery score and you're like, oh fuck, and it can actually send you into a little bit of a mental hole with the training today. You're saying to yourself, hang on now, this thing is telling me, should I be? I get it, I get the science behind it, but I have ignored its recommendations on more than one occasion, you know what I mean? But I like it. I like the fact that it gives me my metrics and stuff, and for me personally, it's like a little game, sleep is, every night. So I'm trying to get a really good score, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to go to bed earlier. I'll switch off the old Netflix earlier or whatever it is, try and set the alarm a little bit later and trying to get that better score for it every day, you know what I mean? And in terms of, say Jamie, we ask this a lot to the higher level athletes because we're all aspiring, even though we'll never be to that level. Most of the CrossFitters are aspiring to kind of get to a higher level. What kind of advice would you give, say, the average CrossFitter who wants to compete and wants to do that little bit extra than the classes?
We're getting a bit of feedback there, sorry.
I think there's a couple things.
Yes.
First thing is, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. All right now.
First thing is building a foundation. I think like everyone sees CrossFit as all the crazy workouts and the kipping pull-ups and the kipping muscle-ups and so on. And with the coaching level of gymnastics and stuff getting so much better, I think people are learning butterfly pull-ups and kipping pull-ups and muscle-ups so much faster that they're just able to throw themselves over the rings.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes your body might be ready for that. So I think going back to the old, just kind of, as people would say, like bodybuilding type training, I think it's really important to build a really big foundation and just make sure that you're strong enough, to take all of that impact that we do in CrossFit workouts. So I'd say number one is just build a strong foundation. Through your squats, your deadlifts, your bench press, your strict press, and so on. And then I think from there, use sessions as training. You don't always have to win the workout because then suddenly your technique can fall apart in a workout, but you're just trying to beat the guy next to you. Sometimes it's better just to use it as an actual training session to get better. And focus on your really tight kipping pull-up or whatever the skill might be. So I think sometimes you have to not rush into things and use training as training to make everything tighter rather than just killing yourself every day because that catches up with you.
Agreed, 100% agreed. Jamie, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, buddy. We're going to wrap it up now. Before we wrap it up, would you like to give anyone a shout out?
Who would I like to give a shout out?
You have to give some shout outs.
All the crew anyway who have already punched a ticket to the games.
Yes.
Because I think that's epic.
Yeah.
And also good luck to Mickey and Sam right now who are chasing their ticket, and hopefully the sanctionals go ahead for them so they can get them as well.
Yes.
And of course my C2F crew. But other than that, lads, thanks a lot for having me.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Jamie.
And I wonder, Neil suggested it as well while you were over there. Would you like to hook up for another little chat while you're over there? You could give us a little feedback on the games and stuff like that. Obviously, when you're outside
what's going on, definitely.
Outside the competition days or whatever, or if you had a few moments in the night time, I'll be in touch anyway. I'll give you a buzz and we'll definitely do this again because it'd be great to hear from an actual athlete that's competing over there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely, 100%.
Brilliant. Jamie, you're a legend, sir, and I'll talk to you soon.
Cheers,
Shane, do you want to say goodbye there?
Thanks for coming on, Jamie. Talk to you again, man.
See you later, brother.
Cheers.
Bye.
Boom. Good. That was a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Super nice guy.
He is very
Jamie's
nice
a legend. He's been putting it down for years. Like I remember back in the day, as I said, kind of one of our girls in here, Amy Lapham, was the kind of top female. She was the first ever girl to go to regionals, first ever Irish girl. And Jamie would have been around about the same time. Took him a little bit later. But the two of them are kind of our top athletes. Shout out to Amy. Yeah, it's really good to talk to him, get some insight into that high level athlete.
Yeah, I
As
remember
said,
even being over in America when I started CrossFit. When I lived over there for like 3 years, and I was over there probably my second year, and I just kind of realised what CrossFit was. I started doing it myself, and I was kind of like, is there anyone in Ireland who even does this? Like, I didn't realise it was a thing. Do we have any athletes?
Jamie's the poster boy.
Yeah, Googled like Irish CrossFit athletes. First guy came up, so I had a look at Jamie at regionals and stuff like that. So for me, that was kind of like a cool one. Like, an Irish man can do it, and
good do it as
they
well,
are doing it now. If you look at 3-4 years later, we have loads of people on it.
Yeah, man, it's coming
and
up.
Jamie's probably one of the biggest reasons for that. For kind of pushing the sport here.
100%. He's a real good model for what a top athlete should be, isn't he?
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, folks, that's a wrap for episode 20. We'll be coming back for episode 21 next week.
If we're still here.
If we're still here, yeah. Woo! We might be after chewing each other's heads off by that stage. The coronavirus evolved.
2 zombies.
We saw buzz. Zombies like this, like. Hopefully that don't happen, folks. Hopefully the world is not coming to an end, but we're gonna try and get some experts on next week about the coronavirus. Not zombies now, but actually real experts. And we're going to bring some other people as well. So next week we're going to have a Corona special, or like, what's it called?
2 bottles of Corona.
COVID-19. We'll have to drink Corona. Yeah, the gym will be shut down anyway. So we're all out of a job, lads. There's no more CrossFit. The IFC is cancelled, and everything else as well.
Greg Glassman's cancelling.
Yeah,
CrossFit.
Greg Glassman. Greg Glassman actually has the coronavirus, lads. Shout out to Greg. All right, we'll wrap it up. We'll see you next week, lads, for episode 21.